Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to the latest episode of the We Can't Wrestle podcast, episode 262. The Maxim Brothers here with you. I'm Nate, that's Aron.
Hello, everybody.
And we are continuing our series on Clash of the Champions as we go to Clash of the Champions 17. Takes place November 19th, 1991 at the Savannah Civic Center in Savannah, Georgia. And I guess we'll call this episode of the We Can't Wrestle podcast. This week, it's the Wyndham Can't Wrestle podcast because Barry can't this week. But before that, are we doing the Wayback Machine this week?
We can, yes.
Okay. Well, before we do that, I wanted to thank Rigamus, our buddy Rigamus, for commenting on last week's episode on Clash 16. Just a few comments. If you ever want to comment, you can on our YouTube or email, wecan'twrestle@gmail.com.
Yes, because we're tired of Nate doing them, so we need other people that aren't part of the show to comment.
Concerning last week's show, or last week's Clash of the Champions, because we did have the Hulk Hogan show in between. His comments were Sting versus Johnny B. Bad and Pillman versus Bad Street were good matches. The rest of the show wasn't very good. El Gigante versus One Man Gang. You're making my point about Kevin Sullivan. We've figured out that Rigamus does not like Kevin Sullivan, whereas we do.
Yes.
The Freebirds versus the Southern Boys was a lot better than the Freebirds versus the Patriots. Brother, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Mike Graham sucks as a wrestler and a human, but this match actually wasn't bad.
Well, then I guess he doesn't suck then.
The finish to the Battle Royal was horrible. And then we had our conversation about Robin Williams movies last week, and his comment on that was Patch Adams is good. So thank you, Rigamus, for your comments. Aron, I don't know if you want to clap back at any of that, but
no. You were pretty on point there, so you're all right.
It's tease. Aron's still convinced that I am Rigamus. It's going to be like the Vince McMahon thing. It was me. It was me all along.
Yeah, the whole time. Son of a... And when you rip that head off, I'll be like, son of a bitch.
Or later on in the week when it's a show where they're recapping it, it'll be son of a... Because whenever Jim Ross would say "son of a bitch," when they would do the recap on another show, they would make like that. They would make that like that explosion sound. Son of a.
Senior McMahon.
I also like the he got caught when he's flipping off under.
Yeah.
So thank you, Rigamus, again for your comments as we get into Clash 17 here. So let's get in the Wayback Machine. See, I think I have a guess on. I think I have a guess on one of the songs.
Was this 90 or 91?
91.
Oh shit! I fucked up. That's why I just thought it. So sorry. So November
1991.
1991. Top 2 songs. I just realized I fucked up when I saw what the top 2 movies were. It's like I did that wrong. Okay, so the top 2 songs on November 19th, 1991.
So I have one. Guess? I have a guess of one of them because I know at this point it was a big hit. I'm going to say Black or White by Michael Jackson is one of them.
It's the number 1 song.
Okay. Because I know that History, I think it was, had come out around this time, and that was, obviously we've talked about that song and that video and how awesome they are in the past.
And History was that CD was insane because it was like one of the first CDs that was like multiple CDs, like in like a flip case.
Mm-hmm.
Like the box it came in was nuts. It was almost like the Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 4 cassette tape or VHS tape when you opened it up and he popped out.
Yeah.
Like when you opened the whole thing, it was like the collage opened up to be like a Michael Jackson figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense. And the number 2 song is a song that I don't remember. It is Dizzy by Vic Reeves and the Wonder Stuff.
I don't remember that either. I think you're lying.
I'm not. It says Dizzy by Vic Reeves and the Wonder Stuff.
No, you know what? I actually misspoke. I started doubting myself, so then I went back and looked. Black or White might have been on History, but it was a single off of Dangerous, not History. I misspoke. But anyway.
I want to see if that's a real thing. It is. I hear what it sounds like real quick, if you don't mind. Sorry. There's a YouTube video for it. Yeah.
Trying to think of while you're doing that. I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
of movies.
I don't like it already. I don't even like it already. That's fine. But yeah, that was a thing. The Wonder Stuff. The Wonder Stuff are a British alternative rock band originally based in whatever the band's first lineup. They had like 20 songs.
I don't remember them at all.
I don't either. Miles Hunt, Mark Twalt, Erica. I don't know any of these fucking people. Fuck them and the horse they rode in on. They can kick rocks. Top movies for November 19th. I was ill prepared. Sorry, I put 1990 and I fucked up. So, top movies. And the reason I knew I fucked up was because like the top movie was Home Alone. I'm like, there's no way that movie was still number one a year later.
We just talked about we had an extensive conversation about that movie.
Just about it, yeah.
Yeah.
So the top movies at the box office, November 19th, 1991. Do you want to guess what they were?
I've been thinking while you were digging into seeing if that song actually existed. I was thinking of like big movies from like the fall of 91 or the winter of 92. I think Cape Fear was out around this time.
It was number 2.
And what?
The other one's a good movie too.
Yeah, go ahead. I can't guess.
Cape Fear was number 2, and then the number 1 movie in America at this time is a really good movie, I think. And it was the Addams Family movie.
Oh yeah, I love everything Addams Family. I'm a like. Sometimes if I just want something on while I'm doing something, there's a 24/7 Addams Family channel on Pluto TV, and I'll just put it on. Like of that era of sitcom shows, I'm a weirdo. That's my favorite one. Like
yeah,
I love the movies. The thing I love the most about the show is that when regular people interact with the Addams Family, regular people are weirded out by the Addams Family, and the Addams Family doesn't have any idea that they're weird. They're awesome. They have
yeah.
they don't know they're weird. They don't care. They don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah.
Like there's an episode. There's an episode where they have to do something like Uncle Fester is sick, but they can't get their witch doctor. Like Gomez is so disappointed because their doctor is actually a witch doctor, like Dr. Madumbo or something, but he's off in Africa, so they have to have a real doctor come. And I don't know. You have to see it to know how funny it is, but it's fucking funny. I like the Addams Family, and I like the movies too. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And obviously, like, one of the most iconic scenes from it is when, or the original show, is when when Wednesday teaches Lurch how to get down and dance. But that's funny shit.
All
But
right.
no, that show it's like a lot of people like the Munsters. But I'm like, the Addams Family is cooler than the Munsters for
No,
some
definitely.
reason. I don't know why.
Not that the Munsters isn't funny. Like Fred Gwynn's funny.
Yeah, I just think it was a slicker humor
Mm-hmm.
to it.
Oh,
You know,
definitely,
it was more
definitely.
hip. The Addams Family were more hip, I think, to use a phrase from when those shows were out.
What's crazy when you think about some of those shows from back then that have become like iconic shows that, and
And
I think I think
and
for us,
they only did like 2 seasons,
yeah, it was only
and
that's what I
they
was gonna
still like
say. It was
talk about.
That's what I was gonna say. It's so iconic, but at the time that it was out, it was only 2 seasons.
Yeah, the only one that really like I shouldn't say the only one that really lasted because I don't know how many seasons like Green Acres and shit like that was, but like the ones that we know of or watched is like kids was like Andy. Andy lasted forever.
I think Beverly Hillbillies lasted quite a long time too.
Yeah, and they both like Beverly Hillbillies might not. You might not agree with it on this, but like you could put Andy on now, and it would be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because like I can watch that show now, and I've watched that show like my entire life, and it still fucking makes me laugh.
There's one show from the Nick, because when we were kids, we watched Nick at Night. That's how we watched all these old shows.
Yeah.
And there's one show that there are so many people that I bring it up to that don't even realize that it existed. Sometimes they think I made it up until I show them something. And I think it really only had like 7 episodes or something. But I remember when I was a kid being in love with Lancelot Link Secret Chimp.
Oh, that fucking shit was great.
There are literally people that I'll say, remember Lancelot Leak's Secret Chimp? And they'll be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Really? You don't remember the
Like,
fucking James Bond
then
monkey with his villains and the fucking.
yeah, you didn't have cool parents then, because that fucking shit was funny.
I think that
That's
only had
not like
like 10 episodes or something. It was like one season.
yeah, when Lancelot would do his different like foil the heels, and the monkey would like shake his monkey paw
Yeah.
at it. Like they'd
The
shake his
monkey.
monkey paws
Yeah.
at him.
The monkey with the
Oh,
monocle. Yeah.
yeah, it was good shit. Good shit, pal.
All right. Well, getting off 50s and 60s sitcoms, let's.
Which he just caused a major pileup. Well, it was a major pileup, but Vince McMahon got in a car accident. In case you guys didn't read it,
Yeah. The
you know
morning
that?
Hulk Hogan died. So Vincent Hogan
Yeah.
almost died on the same day. Wouldn't that have been poetic?
He about pulled a Macho Man. But anyway,
But let's go to 1991, November 19th. Like I said, Savannah, Georgia. According to Wikipedia, they had almost 7,000 people in this building,
good lord.
which is a good draw for early 90s WCW.
Yes.
I wrote down we now have what will pretty much be the permanent entrance or intro music for Clash of the Champions now.
Yes. I thought you were going to say the permanent bouffant of Tony Schiavones.
my thing of the bouffant this week is that it's becoming less boof, but it's still blonde.
It's parted.
Yeah, it's a little less boof and a little more just, corporate Tony Schiavone haircut.
a little less boof and a little more font. But it's parted, a parted bouffant.
JR still Pumpkinhead. We got Pumpkinhead and Bouffant doing the intro here for.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's your announce team, and then your backstage team. Your interviewers are Eric Bischoff and Missy Hyatt.
I have a question.
I might have an answer.
I'm wondering if I just completely missed it. And I know it's not a big deal, but does she ever even interview Bagwell on this show? Because
Uh,
she says when she talks to Bischoff that she's going to be interviewing the rookie sensation Marcus Bagwell. I don't have in my notes anywhere that Missy Hyatt interviewed Marcus Bagwell. I'm not saying I didn't go to take a leak or something and they didn't do a quick interview with him, but
I don't remember that she does. I thought they were just mentioning Marcus Alexander Bagwell, but she was gonna interview Lex Luger. I don't remember. I don't fucking
no,
remember.
I wrote down here. Missy states that she will be interviewing rookie sensation Marcus Bagwell.
And he likes me. I remember that, and she giggled,
Yeah. So yeah,
which
maybe.
is funny because that's supposedly how he got into the business was because those two fucked.
There's gonna be a couple of
Now he doesn't have a leg.
there's gonna be a few years here of this Clash of the Champions series where Aaron and I disagree because I am not a fan of Buff Bagwell, but I am a fan of Marcus Alexander Bagwell. So
I'm a fan of Marcus Alexander Bagwell in a tag team.
fair enough. Fair enough. Our opening match here is it's funny because the York Foundation, like none of them are even trying to York Foundation anymore. um the match is Tommy Rich clad in leather against Big Josh in a lumberjack match. And I wrote down here Tommy Rich comes out to porn music. Because it was like some I don't know if that was the original music or not, but that's what was on this broadcast.
It wasn't. They came out to the Dallas theme.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. You're right, they did. But yeah, it's Matt Bourne versus Tommy Rich, which sounds good on paper.
Yeah, it's just
here's my thing on this. This was a lumberjack match. I guess because Big Josh is a lumberjack, which is silly.
yeah.
It's a lumberjack match that's only like 5 minutes long, which makes barely any use of the stipulation at all. And I think the only reason they made it a lumberjack match was so that Terry Taylor could fuck Rich on the finish.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. Does what I'm saying make sense? Like, if you have a lumberjack match, it should feel more high stakes, I think, than this. But that's WCW, everybody.
Yeah. Like I said, the match, like you said, it's like, why is this a lumberjack match? Well, a lumberjack match didn't need to be.
And then they mentioned during the match, and maybe I forgot it. They say Tommy Rich brought Big Josh into WCW. I don't remember Tommy Rich being the one that introduced Big Josh to WC, like Hulk Hogan with Hillbilly Jim. I don't know. Whatever. There's a whole lot of. I was very confused during this match. Apparently,
Yeah.
and none of this matters.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I'm just writing notes. But yeah, essentially Terry Taylor, who is Tommy Rich's partner in the York Foundation, trips Tommy Rich, and Big Josh wins, pins Tommy Rich in this ladder match. That's about all I got to say about that.
Yeah, it was what it was, and I don't think we're gonna see it because by the next Clash it's probably over. But Terry Taylor or Terrence Taylor tripped Thomas Rich, so I think they're sprinkling and getting ready to break up the York Foundation.
And then the next match on this show, you couldn't have two more opposite wrestlers. It's Beautiful Bobby versus Firebreaker Chip.
I decided he has a new name. I think he's getting done after this, and I don't know why it took me so long. But I changed his name.
Firebreaker Chip's new name is
Firebreaker Chimp.
Because he looking like a monkey?
Because he looks like a monkey. It's Firebreaker Chimp.
Lancelot Link, Firebreaker Chimp.
Yes.
One thing I did write down here, the finish of this match is Chip gets Bobby Eaton in a roll-up, but they do the situation where Bobby like kicks out of the roll-up and kicks Firebreaker Chip into the turnbuckles.
Yes.
So that Bobby can get the roll-up. But did you notice that Firebreaker Chip even fucked that up? Because he doesn't use he doesn't use the momentum out of Bobby kicking him to fly into the turnbuckle. Bobby flips up out of the roll-up, and then Firebreaker Chip literally, you can visually see him jump into the turnbuckle.
Yeah, Chimp sucked. And Chimp tried some top rope work, and he fell both times. And I wrote this, and I hate to say it, but this is the only time that I think I can actually say that this was a bad match involving Bobby Eaton.
Well, this and that scaffold thing that was none of his fault. Anything he's bad, anything that's ever he's in that's bad is never any way, shape, or form his fault.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that thing was like a multiple man match, and it shouldn't happen. But just a 1-on-1 on the mat match. This was no good.
Nope.
And it was all Firebreaker Chimp's fault. Like he couldn't even get if you can't even get a good match out of Bobby Eaton, you suck.
Yeah.
So fuck you, Chimp.
So the next thing they show us is we are finally getting the debut at Starrcade.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
We got a commercial for the Lethal Lottery.
Yes.
And I actually, until they started kind of fucking it up and making it like, I don't want to say predictable, but not making it seem so random. Like when they're like, oh, it's a Steiner brother versus a Steiner brother. You know, like the first like 3 years of the Lethal Lottery, I actually liked it.
I like it as a concept too. I'm glad that I think they only did it 1 year as Starrcade, and then they gave it its own pay-per-view, because I don't like it as being the format for Starrcade. But yeah, as a concept, I enjoy it. I think it's fun.
Yeah. Like by like 95, they made it like it felt super rigged. But like before that,
well, and
like,
then 96, right? It's like they do it on Nitro and shit right before, right? It's what happens like going into the Great American Bash right before the Bash at the Beach with the NWO, and they do it like over weeks on Nitro. And it's like this is supposed to be a one night kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I liked it when they initially did it and they had all the guys up on the stands, and then they do like the 2 different locker rooms, and you can see the guys' reactions and shit.
Mm-hmm.
The Lethal Lottery concept initially was cool, I thought. I just wanted to put that out there.
I agree. So now we're going to have the payoff here for all the Abdullah and Cactus in a box. So we're supposed to find out who is the person behind all of this. There's never a mystery with Sting that's a satisfying payoff. But Tony Schiavone introduces Sting. And then I put down here, then a bunch of meatheads carry out a sedan.
Yeah, and their little booty shorts.
Yeah, a bunch of meatheads carry out a sedan. Bunch of bohunk.
Bohunks.
Bunch of bohunks.
We're all upset your sister's marrying a bohunk. Is that 16 Candles?
Yes.
We're all upset if they forgot her birthday, but it's like we're all upset your sister's marrying a bow hunk.
Yeah, and then Medusa, of course, comes out of
I
this.
think your Chinaman's dead. He ain't dead. He's 3 sheets to the wind. Oh, no more yanking my wife.
No more yanking my wanky.
Yanking my wanky. Sorry.
Yeah, John
That
Hughes
fucking
movies.
scene is in my fucking head for the rest of my life. When
Well,
they pull away from the driveway and they're like, "Hey, is that your Chinaman?" And he's
But yeah, the meat hut.
so offensive.
the meathead bohunks bring out the sedan. And out of the sedan, of course, comes Medusa, who acts like she wants to fuck Sting. But it turns out she's doing a different kind of fucking on Sting. Because also in this...
man.
yes.
Saying.
Yeah.
Not so much in WWE or WWF.
Well, but she wasn't presented that way either.
Yeah,
she wasn't...
WCW? Whew, good Lord.
WWF, like they because it was the WWF, they even covered up her body and stuff, which they never did. What they never did with Sherry, but that's because Sherry and probably wouldn't let them. But anyway, no, I agree with you. But yeah, like I said, Medusa acts like she wants to fuck Sting, but she's really fucking Sting over because out of the sedan comes the WCW champion Lex Luger, who we find out has been supposedly to be behind all these mystery boxes. And my question to you was, because for everything that I know and all the little tidbits of knowledge that I have and backstage things and all that from over the years, did you ever hear a story of, was this the Black Scorpion wasn't originally supposed to be Ric Flair? Was it from the beginning their plan that it was going to be Luger to be this guy? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems underwhelming to me. It was like
why I don't think it's underwhelming.
It almost would have been better to wait to reveal Rude and make Rude the one that was sending him you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the reason I don't think it's underwhelming is, and it was actually something kind of cool that WCW did, was Luger turned heel,
Yeah.
But they kept Sting and Luger away from each other for shouldn't say a very long time, but for a good amount of time because they were friends,
Mm-hmm.
So Sting's character was I'll just be the U.S. champion. Ain't gonna fuck around with Lex. That's my buddy. And that's why I think it was kind of cool that it was Luger. Because it could have been easy to just jump right into that feud. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But they kept them apart for a while. And I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. It's, we don't have to agree on whether we like everything or not. You know what I mean? If you dig it, you dig it. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's underwhelming. But
I don't think it should have happened there. I don't think it should have happened on this night.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's one of those, and we'll get to it, but it's one of those, you're telling, you're doing it, you're shooting an angle and telling a story all in one night. This is a one night story with Sting getting injured here, the leg, and then coming up later with Rude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rude injures Sting's knee. And then we come back to in the ring, it's Diamond Stud against the Z-Man, but they don't really obviously focus on that match. We get footage of Sting in the back being attended to and put into the ambulance. I did notice a couple of times during the show, they just the last match that we had, the last match that we had, this match, I don't think there's another one now that I'm thinking about it, but they just came into the ring. The guys were already in the ring. Came on You know, they were already in the ring. They'd already had their intros during the commercial break or whatever. Z-Man gets a quick out of nowhere victory on Diamond Stud, but Diamond Stud gets his heat back afterwards and hits the Razor's Edge on the Z-Man.
Another example of Scott Hall being Razor Ramon before he even got
he says during this match, I'm the bad guy.
I'm the bad guy. Bad guy. So they're being like, oh, they're stealing our gimmick. No,
not in this case. Yeah, not in this case. Next match. WCW World Television Championship. The challenger, PN News, the champion with Lady Blossom, stunning Steve Austin. Who'd that guy ever beat?
Yeah, I feel bad for Steve. He's got a fucking
wrestle his couch.
Yeah, wrestle his fucking beanbag.
I did write down here though, the crowd is actually really into PN News during this match. This specific crowd on this specific night was into PN News. They were popping for all of his shit. They were popping for his near falls and his comebacks. Yeah. So I will say that. I will say that. I'm not in any way, shape, or form endorsing PN News. I'm just saying on this night in Savannah, Georgia, PN News was over.
Well, what the hell else is happening in Savannah, Georgia? But I don't like watching these guys work. And I'm just not into it. The less said about it, the best.
Well, Steve Austin is crazy. I wrote down here I just noted it because like I said, I was watching a lot of like the essentially the end before of the USW or the USWA coming into Texas. And of course, Steve Austin's a part of that until he comes to WCW with his feud with Chris Adams and, you know, all that jazz. And then watching him here, and one of the notes that I had down here, and I know it's obvious, and we probably talked about it before, but he is one of those guys that definitely has two distinct big chapters of his wrestling style. Obviously, I know why, because of the injury and everything. And with the Stone Cold Steve Austin gimmick, even before the injury, he didn't have to do this stuff. But like there's a part here in this match where Lady Blossom PN News almost pins Austin, and Lady Blossom distracts him, and he goes out to try to get, you know, to do the chase spot with Lady Blossom, and Steve Austin fucking soars himself over the top rope.
Oh no! Like I'm saying, like I'm not denigrating Steve. So I'm just saying I don't enjoy watching him work like
no. I was just making the point about Austin. You know, it's crazy. And we've all watched all the stuff and we all know it, but it's crazy when you're watching it to see the distinct style. You know what I mean? Like you're so used to the Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, because the Stone Cold Steve Austin was the more successful thing, and it's more in the culture and all that. But when you watch early Steve, it's just so fantastic, just so good. And not that he wasn't good in his other incarnation, but
like at this era of Steve, it's like this is 91, so then we're gonna get in like 92, and it's gonna be like him and Pillman versus like Shane and Steamboat.
Yeah.
And then him with Steamboat, and like he's gonna have
and all the tagging up with Bobby Eaton and stuff, and Rick Rude with the Dangerous Alliance is coming up.
Yeah, and like there's gonna be like he had like a really good match with like Muda and just all this different shit that he did, and he was so fucking good. And like you said, I don't. It's almost like Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. And it's a different thing because Hogan Hogan was like hurt or whatever. It's like I don't want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin have the same match with the Undertaker that he had with like Great Muta.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't want to see Hulk Hogan have the same match with. I'm trying to think of somebody.
King Kong. You don't want to see him have the same match with King Kong Bundy that he had with Stan Hansen.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that, and yeah, I'm just I don't know, just the PN News versus Steve Austin does nothing for me. That's what I'm getting at. I think it's a misuse of Steve at this time, but WCW is still doing a good job with Steve Austin.
Yes.
The next match is terrible too.
Austin wins this match with his feet on the ropes, retains the TV title. We come back from break, and it's Cactus Jack versus Van Hammer.
And Van Hammer's pyro doesn't even know how to work.
You know what's crazy?
Hammer can't work, and neither does this promo.
You know what's crazy? Pyro. If you remember in Jack's book, he actually really liked working with Van Hammer.
He never connected.
For whatever it's worth, like you know that match they have where they go out into the stables and Abby's out in the stables like dressed like a fucking ranch hand or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Mick in his book says that's one of his favorite matches he ever had.
It's a fun match because there's all kinds of other shit going on. Abdullah the Butcher's dressed like a cowboy. Missy Hyatt's like soaked, so her clothes are fucking clinging to her, and you don't even think about Van Hammer. It could have been anybody. Could have been Firebreaker Chimp. I wouldn't give a fuck. It wasn't because of Van Hammer. It was because all the shit going on around him. Van Hammer fucking sucked.
Cactus Jack pins Van Hammer in this match. It's just a short one, of course. He hits Van Hammer in the throat with his own guitar. And then they have a little fight after the match, after Cactus gets the win, and Van Hammer makes his comeback to get Cactus to take the powder. So Van Hammer can excite the fans of Savannah, Georgia, who love Van Hammer and PN News.
Yeah.
Like you said,
this fucking town.
Like, it tells you WWF never comes to this town.
Yeah.
And then something happens that somebody under the age of 30 would probably never understand. Eric Bischoff.
That's a phone call?
Yes, Eric Bischoff's at the hospital. But this isn't even a satellite feed. We don't have a digital connection. He's not recording it on his cell phone. Anyway, it's just Jim Ross on the phone. An old school rotary phone, talking to Eric Bischoff at the hospital. And I did write it down. It was funny because Jim Ross was like, do you know anything about the condition of Sting, Eric? And Eric's like, well, JR, I'm standing out here, and one of the orderlies came out of the room and gave me the thumbs up. So I'm just like this random orderly, just like he could have been giving him the thumbs up about, you want me to go get you a candy bar? Or give me random orderly gave me, not a doctor, not a nurse. It was an orderly.
Yeah. Just an orderly gave me a thumbs up.
Yeah, floor's mopped.
And he says it's possibly looking good. Like, I don't fucking know. We might have to take his leg.
Yeah, they might have to take his leg. The guy might have been giving me the thumbs up because the floor's mopped. I don't know, but an orderly. I just thought it was funny. It's not a nurse. It's not a doctor.
He might be his thumb might be indicating how many legs we got to take. I don't fucking know. I'm on a rotary phone. You're on a rotary phone. I'm on a fucking payphone. How the fuck do I know what's going on?
I gotta go, JR.
I don't have 10 cents for another 5 minutes.
Yeah. Jim Hurd's cheap. I can't call you collect. So then Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone give us a lowdown on the tag team situation. Of course, like I said earlier, just kind of a joke. Wyndham can't wrestle. This goes back to the Halloween Havoc pay-per-view, where Dustin Rhodes, Eric Bischoff was interviewing wrestlers as they showed up. I remember, I think, didn't like Cactus and Abby show up in like a Chevette or something?
Yeah, and Abby was dressed in like dress slacks and a
Yeah, he
fucking
had like dress slacks pulled up to his
button-up
boobs.
shirt and his button-up shirt. And I did like, I think we watched this show like a lot of episodes ago, but I did like the fact that like Bischoff's interviewing these guys, and it was funny because like Abby showed up dressed normal, you know, he had like his stogie when they pulled up, and then in this thing, like at this event, it was kind of realistic because like Dustin and Barry show up and and the enforcers show up and they slam the car door on Barry Windham's hand, and Dustin's just like, "Oh, I gotta get him to the hospital," and
Yeah,
then they just
yeah.
drive
He does.
away.
He
I'm
just
like,
gets.
okay,
He is Barry's the driver. Barry's in the driver's seat when they show up, and then the enforcers, like Aaron said, they slam Barry's door or hand into the door. That's a classic Dusty thing. But
yeah,
and then Dustin just like pushes Barry into the passenger seat, gets in the driver's seat, says, "We gotta go,"
go
and
man.
they haul ass
Yeah,
to the
my
fucking
guy's fucked
hospital.
up. Yeah,
But you're right. It's a very realistic reaction. Like that's what I would do if you and I were in the
yeah,
car and somebody slammed your hand in the door. I'd be like, "All right, we gotta go. We gotta go."
yeah. And two of our enemies showed up.
Kyle Army and Chris Wood show up, and
And just slam my hand in a door. I hope you wouldn't be like, I'm gonna continue on. And I hope you'd be like, shit, man.
can somebody get my partner to the hospital?
Yeah, my phalanges are fucked up, bro. Need help. So they show us all that. And then this is all to say that Dustin Rhodes now needs to find a new tag team partner. Dustin Rhodes comes out with Barry Windham and oh, sorry, I skipped something. We thought Barry Windham would be okay, but then they show us on Worldwide or some shit. I don't know if it was Worldwide or WCW Pro or whatever that Barry tried to work, but his wrist was still fucked up. So at this show, Dustin Rhodes needs a new tag team partner. He comes out with Barry Windham. Barry Windham says he can't wrestle, and they proceed to bring out Dustin Rhodes' mystery partner, who is wearing a giant dinosaur mask. Who could
Yes.
it be?
Who could it be? Who could this be? I love Tony Schiavone tries. He's like, could this be somebody from Japan? He tries.
Yeah.
But we,
What did it? Oh, good. Sorry.
anybody with half a brain at this point knows that Ricky Steamboat has recently left the WWF after doing the dragon gimmick. I like how there's a lot of times with Ricky Steamboat where like he goes to WWF, right? And the smart guys or the Meltzer guys or whatever, like, oh, they've got him wearing this cape and he's breathing fire and blah blah. And then when he comes to WCW, I mean, sans cape, but he still does the same thing. He still breathes the fire. He still does the gimmick. But all of a sudden, since it's not in the WWF, it's fine. It's fine. The theatrics are fine as long as they're not in the WWF. Anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree. And
Which I don't have a problem with the theatrics, folks. I was just pointing out the hypocrisy of some of those guys. But anyway.
I'm cool as long as he doesn't have his fucking baby with him. I'm
Yeah,
alright.
fuck that shit.
But the dinosaur mask is ripped off and is revealed to be Ricky Steamboat.
Big pop.
Yeah. Huge, fucking huge. It wasn't big, it was huge. Those people went nuts. And did you catch the interaction between what I think is one of the coolest tag teams ever of Larry Zbyszko and Arn Anderson? Did you catch their interaction?
I don't think so. I don't think I did because I didn't write anything down about it or anything. So
Okay. They ripped that dragon dinosaur mask or whatever off of
right.
Steamboat, and Anderson goes, "It's okay, it's okay," and Larry Zbyszko goes, "It is not okay." Like Anderson's like, trying to be calm. He's just like, "It's all right, it's okay, it's all good, it's okay." And Zbyszko is just like, "It is not
It is
okay,
not okay.
no." It was kind of like, it reminded me of like that shit with Edge and Mick at that fucking One Night Only when like Terry Funk showed up or whatever, and Mick was like, "We made a huge mistake.
We made a huge mistake." Or when Road Dogg and Billy Gunn came back and they were old, and they had I forget who they're having that match with, and like Road Dogg tags out and looks at Billy and goes, "This was a mistake."
Yeah, this was a mistake. But yeah, Anderson was just like, "It's okay, we got this, it's all right." And Zbyszko's like, "It is not okay. It's not good." It was
So yes, this is the tag team championship match. Dustin Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat against the Enforcers for the tag team titles. What's fun about this is because I'm a big fan. I don't want to say fun about this because it's not cool that Barry Windham's injured. But it's funny because I'm a big fan of the tag team of Ricky Steamboat and Dustin Rhodes.
I am as well.
And just think, and I know Steamboat would have come back anyway because he was gonna come to WCW anyway. But just think, if Barry Windham wouldn't have gotten injured, we might not have got this tag team.
Yeah, and we might have not got the Dustin Barry feud, which was really good too.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm pretty sure this was a shoot injury for Barry Windham.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm a big fan of the Enforcers. Anderson and Zbyszko as a team. And just as a, like, we're gonna, like, we always at the end of the show be like, "Oh, what did you like? What do you like?" or whatever.
Right.
I'll just say it right now. This is the best thing on this whole fucking show.
Yes, and this is to me this is where the show picks up, because to be perfectly honest with you, until this point in the show, I've thought that this Clash kind of stunk.
Oh, this show sucked until now.
Yes, and it picks up because the second half I think is good. But yeah, I don't have any specific notes on the match. So if you want to, I
don't have a lot of notes either, other than Anderson going, "It's okay," and Zbyszko being like, "It's not okay," and then Steamboat just hitting the hits. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
they did a very good job at bringing Steamboat back, popping the crowd, and then making sure that they allowed Steamboat to hit all the shit that the people knew that they liked.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like you're at a concert and you don't know the Rolling Stones are going to show up, and then they just come out there and just hit the hits, or
Yeah.
just play the hits. You know what I mean? Oh, Paint It Black and Start Me Up and
Brown
Beat
Sugar.
the Bird and oh, they don't play Brown Sugar anymore.
You know what? I don't know if we've ever. I don't know that we've ever talked about that band on this show or in any of our shows or anything, and I'm not going to get in the weeds. I'm not a big Rolling Stones fan. I don't care if anybody thinks it's sacrilege or not. I'm not a big Stones fan, but actually my favorite Stones song is Brown Sugar. I'm going to be honest. But
Oh,
anyway,
don't tell people that. They don't even play that song anymore.
it's a cool tune. It's
And
catchy and
stop saying that.
well, Dustin and Steamboat win the tag team championships.
Have you read the lyrics to that song?
Yes, I have.
Oh, it's bad. I'm not saying it's a good song, but I'm just saying it's bad.
It's the Hulk Hogan of Rolling Stones songs. Anyway, back to the tag title match. Steamboat and Dustin, of course, the crowd is happy. They win the tag team championships from the Enforcers. Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone come back after the match, which was really good, by the way. Like I said, definitely the best part of the show. They kind of recap what we just saw. Obviously, they're saying Larry Zbyszko and Arn Anderson are in the back protesting this because they didn't know who their opponent was going to be, even though they set themselves up for this.
Yeah.
By injuring Barry Windham, of course, but they're heels. They're going to protest. And then they tell us Jushin Thunder Liger is coming to WCW. We see footage of Jushin Liger from Japan, and who's not excited? Like seeing it, because we were, when he first emerged on the national scene or whatever. I don't know. I wasn't even 2 years old or whatever. But I bet seeing Jushin, like us seeing Jushin Liger for the first time, was like people in 1980 or 81 seeing Dynamite Kid for the first time in the United States.
Yeah, or look, you said Dynamite Kid, or those people in Madison Square Garden that were like, oh, here's Dynamite Kid versus Tiger Mask.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
And that's that match. It might be on is it on the Hart Dynasty? I don't know. It's on something that I have. And if you watch that match at first, when they first come out and shit, that Madison Square Garden crowd is so quiet. And then as the match builds, they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. It's like, this is a crowd that's used to watching fucking Ivan Putski and Ivan Putski and fucking Chief J Strongbow. And then all of a sudden this shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Well, Jim Ross.
Just saying.
Jim Ross comes back after that with a interview with Paulie Dangerously discussing the U.S. title match and Sting. And Paulie has the piece of paper. I love the fact that Paulie is self-aware enough to go, now this time, Jim Ross, I am not lying.
Yeah, I'm not lying.
I am not lying. It is right here in black and white. Essentially, the gist is that Sting cannot defend the United States Championship.
Sting should be ashamed of himself. Sting should be ashamed of himself for letting these people down. But I'm not lying.
I love the fact that he was like, this time.
I am not lying.
Yeah, it was fucking beautiful, man. That was great. That was an awesome little touch,
Like, okay, can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
Because I know we got a little bit of show left. I'll never say that I don't love me some Bobby Heenan. Okay.
Mhm.
and Bobby Heenan usually makes everybody better.
Yes.
But to me, and you can disagree with me if you want, but I enjoy Paulie and Rick Rude together more than Bobby and Rick Rude together.
I will take it. I will raise your Heyman because I think I don't know if it was their personal relationship because I know they didn't really care for each other or whatever. That doesn't matter. If I watch all of Rick Rude's career and I watch Bobby Heenan, to me, Rick Rude didn't need Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan didn't need Rick Rude. Vince just at that time, every heel had to have a manager.
Yeah.
So they stuck him with Bobby. And I will say, honestly, and again, like you said, Bobby Heenan, 99.99999, we both know he's the greatest manager in the history of the business. He adds to everybody that he manages. So we're not discounting Heenan here. I'll raise your Heyman and I'll say I like Paulie Dangerously better as Rude's manager than Heenan. I actually like Percy Pringle better. I thought Percy Pringle and Rick Rude in World Class were really good together.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Rude is probably the least successful to me pair. I mean, other than fucking Missing Link, but he's like the worst successful, like big time pairing that Heenan ever had, my opinion. So yeah, no, we totally agree. I'll go with Paulie and Rude over Heenan and Rude for sure.
All right. And I think I put it in. Sorry, the next question's during their actual match, so
Okay.
I'll ask it in a minute.
Well, after the Paulie situation where he's actually telling the truth for once, as he says, or whatever, Jim Ross is back on the phone, back on that rotary dial phone with Eric Bischoff. It's funny, my notes. I'm like, Jim Ross back on the phone with Ross, back on the phone with Bischoff. Sting's at the hospital. Sting steals an ambulance, apparently, and he's headed back to the arena because, like, Bischoff's like, yeah, apparently. I liked the fact that Sting was in the background. Like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm gonna lose my job.
Yeah.
I did like that touch.
Yeah,
Like,
it was good. Like the phone shit's good.
the orderly Sting being
It's
pissed off.
like an orderly, and Bischoff's like in the lobby, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Steve." Jim Ross says, Paulie says, if you don't come back, you're gonna lose your belt. And he's like, what?
What? I'm headed to that place right now. Like, you can just hear him yelling in the back. It was good shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was good shit.
Because you don't see it. It's great because you don't see it. It's fun because you don't see it.
And Buffon and Ross are just like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And Bischoff's like, well, he just stole a truck. He just stole the ambulance. I don't know.
Bischoff's like, Sting stole the ambulance. I'm clocking out for the night. My work here is done.
I'm good.
I'm going to go smoke a doobie with that orderly out back. The next matchup is for the light heavyweight championship. It's Flying Brian versus Johnny B. Bad. I put down here, I thought Pillman was coming out because they accidentally start playing Pillman's music first.
Well, that's what I put. It's like they misplayed Brian Pillman's music so long, they should have just sent him out first.
Yeah.
Like they played it for like 30 seconds, and then they cut it off and then sent out Johnny B. Bad. It's like just send out Brian Pillman.
WCW, everybody. It's like I said, like nothing. It's funny because there are
roller skates.
There are plenty of WCW production things that we will bring up over and over and over again as time goes on, and every show we review. If you listen to any WCW review, I promise you, there's something we talk about their production. But nothing ever surprises me because literally, what is it that Stark? It was what show was it that we were talking about? One of the Starcades or something, or maybe it was one of these Clash of the Champions where somebody put RICK Flair on the fucking video wall or whatever, and nobody ever corrected that.
It was the fucking. There's a
It
lot
might
of
have.
like RICK Claire shit. It was a Starcade where they put it up in fucking laser lights.
Yeah,
What
that's
the
what
fuck?
it is. Yeah, it was a Starcade. They might have even done it at one of the early Clash of the Champions we reviewed. But it's like once somebody spelled Ric Flair's name incorrectly and it made it to TV, nothing surprises me.
Yeah.
That never would have happened with Vince McMahon. Never. Vince, you can say what you want about Vince and Kevin Dunn. Never would have happened.
Nope. And
Fucking
if it would have,
3 o'clock in the afternoon that day, Vince would have been like, "Does that say RICK Flair? The fuck?
if it would
Fix
have
that
happened, it
and
would have never
fix
happened
that."
again, and that guy would have been
Yeah,
fired.
as if say, fix that or you're fired. All right. Anyway,
And then in 1991, okay, this is the lightweight champion. This is something else that I've never liked. I don't understand. Why is it light heavyweight champion? How's it a light heavyweight? What does that mean? But
yeah,
anyway,
it should just be lightweight.
yeah.
If you're not
Well,
going to say cruiserweight, it should be lightweight. You're right.
yeah.
It's a I don't even know what the word for it is. It's not an oxymoron. It's something. But yes, it's you're
Stupid.
light heavy.
Yeah.
You're fat skinny.
Fat skinny. But in 1991, a lightweight. Did you hear what they said the cutoff for the lightweight, the light heavyweight? We'll just say what they got. The light heavyweight championship was
Isn't it
in
like
1991.
Isn't it like 230?
236 pounds.
Okay, yeah, I know it was a 220s or 230s. Yeah.
236 pounds. You're a lightweight.
That's why, especially in professional wrestling or in modern professional wrestling, for any, and I know WCW's cruiserweight division had a lot of great matches and stuff. It really did. But let's just eliminate that one for a minute. That's why actually the most effective lighter wrestler division probably in the past 30 years is the X division, because they don't have a weight limit. They just say there's no limits.
Yeah.
I like the idea. I like the X division championship. I like the idea of it. I think that it has produced a lot of good fucking matches over the years and a lot of good matchups. Because you can say, you can promise this is going to be the most fast-paced, exciting thing that you're going to see all day. But if need be, fucking Moose or Abyss can be in this match as long as they can go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the X Division Championship. I've been watching a lot more TNA lately. I've actually started watching TNA weekly. It's the only show. Literally, honestly, I don't want to get in the weeds here. But you know what? TNA, I started watching Impact weekly probably about 3 months ago. It is the only wrestling show, including the WWE shows. Well, I don't watch AEW. So I watch the WWE produced shows like Evolve, NXT, SmackDown, Raw, the pay-per-views, and then I watch TNA. TNA is the only wrestling show that I watch weekly that I don't fast forward at all. It's a really good show right now. But anyway.
Yeah.
Got in the weeds. Oh, Pillman and Johnny B. Bad for the light heavyweight championship. This match is essentially to do the purpose of this is twofold. It's one, to put Pillman over, obviously the light heavyweight champion, and to finally put an end to the relationship between Johnny B. Bad and Teddy Long.
Which is going to be the end of my caring about Johnny B. Bad.
I think that I wrote down here, I think Jim Ross is overdoing it with the peanut head during this match. It's funny, but it's not funny when you say it 14 times during a 4-minute match. But yeah, essentially, Johnny B. Bad has Pillman quote unquote dead to rights in this match. He's going to win the title. Teddy Long distracts the ref against his own man. Pillman winds up getting the victory over Johnny B. Bad, and then at the end, Johnny B. Bad knocks out Teddy Long, like I said, to end their relationship as manager and protege.
Yeah. It is what it is. It was a quick match and did what it needed to do, so I don't really have like a lot of notes on it.
The next match is my second favorite match of the night behind the tag title match because, to be perfectly honest with you, and we'll get to it, but I was actually surprised I wasn't a big fan of the main event. But the next match is Rick Rude versus Sting for the U.S. title. First of all, they've done a great job throughout the night building toward this match. Like I said, one night angle plus match. Rude comes out with Paulie. I think this was the part where Paulie said, Sting lets the fans down that you were mentioning earlier. I'm sorry that Sting's let you all down. Blah, blah, blah. But Sting arrives. The ambulance arrives. Sting is here. Did you have... I know you said you had another question about Rude and Sting, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, give me a minute. I had to
That's fine.
plug my computer in because it was saying it was dying. I think you and I can both agree that Rude was much better in WCW than he was in WWF.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. Not that I don't like Rick Rude in the WWF, but if I'm picking WCW Rick Rude or WWF Rick Rude, I'm definitely going with WCW Rick Rude.
So, do you think it was because of Big Fish, Little Pond, better in-ring roster, or allowed to be grittier, or all of the above? Does that question make sense?
It does, and it's an easy answer for me. In WCW, he was allowed to be grittier. He was allowed to be more himself. Because if you watch the WWF, like you said, first of all, they put him with a manager that personally they didn't like each other. Although he did have some good shit in WWF, a lot of times they put him in the ring with wrestlers that he had to like really, really work to have good matches with, like the Ultimate Warrior. And if this makes, I hope this makes sense when I say it. In WCW, he was presented as a wrestler and a man, and in WWF, he was presented as a catchphrase.
Yeah.
In WCW, he was ravishing Rick Rude. I've got a great body. I've got a great this. I've got a great that. But I'm also a badass motherfucker. In WWF, he was essentially, I'm Rick Rude. I'm a Chippendales dancer. Again, like, not that doesn't hold merit or hold water for heel heat and stuff, but he fit WCW better than he fit the WWF formula. And I don't think Vince thought enough of him. I don't think Vince thought enough of him to give him the reins off like he would a Bret Hart or a Shawn Michaels or somebody, to be like, yeah, normally we have this formula, but you go out and be you. He let Bret Hart be Bret Hart. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't think he thought enough of Rude to let him take the fucking reins off, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That does make sense. And I think it's the last two, because I've been like friends of mine have said, "Oh, Rick Rude was just a big fish in a little pond when he got to WCW." It's like, yeah, I think he had a better class of people to work with,
There are just
and,
certain
and not
people.
and not saying that WWF guys sucked
Right.
or anything, but it was a different style.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Oh,
was more
no.
hard hitting, and it
Listen,
was more what he wanted to do. And then he got allowed to be
I'll say this about
more
it.
Rick Rude and less Ravage. Like in this match, he knocked Sting down, and I don't know if you caught it, but like there's a point in this match where he's like, "Get up, you fucking son of a bitch!"
Mm-hmm.
Like he would have never been able to say that in
Mm-mm.
WWF.
No, and I'll say this about I'm the reverse. I'm the reverse with his best friend. I'd take Mr. Perfect in the WWF over anything Kurt Hennig ever did in WCW. You know, it's
Yeah,
just certain people fit certain promotions better. It is what it is. It just is what it
yeah.
is.
I want to watch Kurt bump for Hulk Hogan. I don't want to watch Rick Rude bump for Hulk Hogan. I
Exactly.
want to
Yeah.
watch Rick Rude kick Hulk Hogan in his fucking head.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I totally agree. And Vince never would have let that happen.
Nope.
For good or bad, you can say what you. I always say you can say what you want about the man's business decisions, but you can't argue with his business results.
Yeah.
Maybe not in '95, but you know what I'm saying. Maybe not King Mabel, but I'm just saying, like, not everybody's perfect. But one thing that I really loved in this match, I like little subtle things, and Rude is very good at shit like that. Much like Bob Orton and his son Randy and Fit Finley. We talk about people with psychology or little itty bitty things. I loved in this match, one of my favorite spots was Sting is kicking the shit out of Rick Rude. Like he's making the story, of course, is the knee. Sting is like he's turned the tables on Rude. He's getting he's getting the upper hand, the babyface upper hand. He sends Rude into the ropes, and Rude pretty much is like on spaghetti legs, and he falls. But when he falls into Sting's knee. So Rude inadvertently gains an advantage, and as a heel, he doesn't even know he's gained that advantage. I was like, that is a beautiful little spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's fucked up. He doesn't even know that he just gained the advantage over Sting by falling into his knee because he's all fucking out of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was like, that's what wrestling's about, man. That's fucking cool. I like that.
Yeah. Like, I'm glad you put that note down because I don't have a lot of notes about the match just because I was watching it. I like the fact, one note I did have was that Sting, I don't know if you noticed it, but Sting's legs wrapped, like his knees wrapped, because he got fucked up. But somebody had enough forethought to cut off Sting's tight leg, or I say tight leg, but I mean like pant leg. Like I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
Like if he was in the hospital, they wouldn't wrap his knee around his tights. They would have cut it off because they had to look at the knee. Like everything about this match is perfect.
Oh yeah. This is really, like I said, the tag title match and this match actually make this clash not. They make the tag title match and this match make this clash bearable. Honestly.
Yeah. And the only reason I said that, like I shouldn't say the only reason, but the main reason I said that tag team match or the tag team title match was the best match on the show is because Rude and Sting have a match, but it's not really like
when someone's working
their
when
match really
someone's
isn't a match. Their match is more of an angle in it.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. When someone's working a match, quote unquote, injured, it's not gonna be a technical. That's not the point of it. That's not the point of it. Yeah.
This match was an angle.
And I also like the fact Paul E. he cracks Sting with the phone, but Sting still kicks out, which gets a big pop out of the crowd. But right after that, Paulie distracts Sting, and then Rick Rude holds the tights to get the pin on Sting, and win the United States Championship. And this match did a number of positive things. First of all, because Rude just came in at Halloween Havoc, so this is already establishing Rick Rude like we've strapped a rocket to this fella. And Rude and Heyman are Rude and Paulie are established. These guys are now top heels in this company. Sting fighting through injury makes him an even more sympathetic and crowd-loved babyface. Just everything about this whole thing was really good. Like I said, I thought that the thing with Luger at the beginning of the show was wonky and I don't know. It was underwhelming to me. But then this match, based on that injury, was really fucking well done. Everything about it. This was a really good segment of TV.
Yes, I agree.
And then Tony Schiavone it's funny because I wrote down Tony interviews Rude and his bunch. It's the Rude bunch, but of course Rick Rude, Paulie Dangerously, and Medusa.
My only note was that we get a side view of the bouffant. And it's like, oh, there's a side view of Tony's bouffant, and now I can see the layers to it.
It's a multifaceted bouffant.
Yes. It's a multi-layered bouffant.
Jim Ross interviews Ron Simmons, who just, they discuss Halloween Havoc, how he was unsuccessful in being the world champion, but he's got a lot of fight.
Yeah, he broke his wrist.
Yes.
And either, and I'm not trying to say this to sound like, how do I say it? They either, whoever was filming this or producing this segment, either found the black family that was in the crowd, or put as many black people together as they could behind Ron Simmons. Did you notice that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say typecast, but you're right. They were like, all right, are the African Americans down here by the front of the building? Could you gather here behind Mr. Simmons?
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not trying to sound racist or whatever with it, but it's like I noticed that. It's like, well, I didn't see all those African American people behind Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross as they were commentating, but all of a sudden there's a bunch of African American people behind them. It's kind of like the old McDonald's commercials. Like there was the African American McDonald's commercial and the Caucasian McDonald's commercial.
And people can say this. I'm not being bigoted here. I'm not being racist. I'm not even making a racist joke. But the African American McDonald's commercial always featured the chicken sandwich over the hamburger. It's just, you're right. It is, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's marketing, baby.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But Ron is saying that he broke his wrist, and he's happy that he's gotten fan letters from everybody across the nation, and he's getting ready to get back in there. And once his wrist's healed, he's going to continue his quest to become the first black world heavyweight champion. And Jim Ross is happy about that. And then we're going to move into the WCW World Championship title match with Rick Steiner versus Lex Luger. And Rick Steiner is accompanied by Scott Steiner, who was wearing a tiny tank top and leather pants, which is weird. And Lex Luger is accompanied by Harley Race and Mr. Hughes.
And I said this
And
earlier.
this match was terrible.
Yeah. Like I said this earlier. I haven't. Well, I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know when the last time I watched this Clash of the Champions was, even in passing. But as I was watching this, I just expected this match to be so much better than it was. It wasn't. It wasn't.
And you know what's funny? A couple clashes back, we watched Ric Flair versus Scott Steiner, right?
Yeah.
And we said this wasn't any good.
Yeah, said the
This
same
wasn't
thing.
as good as we remember. And this is Lex Luger versus Rick Steiner, and this isn't any good. You know? What I put in my notes was, if it would have been, and when I say this, you can know that I'm not just making shit up, because I've told you a couple times that I think Rick should have had a run in like the
What,
the
88,
mid
89? 88,
yeah,
89?
where he should have been NWA champion. Imagine if this would have been Rick Steiner versus Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been so much better.
And again, this is, and you're not wrong. And people that listen to this show regularly know that I've said it over and over and over again. From the year from like late 1989 until he leaves at the end, or at the beginning, or at the beginning of 92 is by far my favorite Lex Luger. But Lex Luger, the key to Lex Luger is the opponent. The key to Lex Luger is the opponent. And I don't know if Rick wasn't willing to work with him, or if the two of them just didn't mesh, or whatever.
Rick Steiner needs a bumper.
Mm-hmm. So what we're saying is both of these guys wrestle.
A bumper.
They need an opponent that they can be great if they have the right opponent.
Yeah, Lex Luger's not a bump taker. Lex Luger's a bump giver.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Steiner can do both, but Rick's better at being in there with a guy that he can throw. Like imagine Rick Steiner throwing Ric Flair around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. I
No, and you're right.
These guys don't work well together.
It's kind of, and Rick's
they're friends. Like,
but you can be buddies all day long, but you might not be able to be coworkers.
Yeah. But they just
one of my best friends. I'm not gonna say his name, obviously, because I don't want to shit on him, because he's one of my best friends. But one of my best friends is, with retail management. He is also a retail manager, and we have worked together 2 times at 2 separate companies as we've weaved throughout our careers. He is one of my best friends, but as a coworker, I hate his fucking guts. Like, I hate his work ethic. I hate his work style. Our styles don't mesh. But when we're outside, when we ain't clock in, we are the best of fucking friends. We get along. We like the same things. We can talk about shit. But when we work together, I hate his fucking guts. So it can happen. You can be buddies and not be able to work together. I
totally agree. And that's what I think this was.
Yeah, this match, and again, they have like a maybe like a 9-minute standard just doing nothing kind of match. And then we get all the hoopla with Mr. Hughes Mr. Hughes interferes. Scott Steiner comes to counter Mr. Hughes, and I put actually the best spot in the match was the suplex Harley Race takes from Rick Steiner.
Yeah, it's because now two guys that can work.
Yeah. But Luger cracks Rick with the belt to get the win and retain the WCW World Championship. And that is Clash of the Champions 17. And honestly, even though Rick Rude has now arrived in WCW and had a great segment, even though Ricky Steamboat has now arrived in WCW and had a great segment, I actually think this Clash was a step back from the last Clash.
I agree. And how many years ago was
91, so this was 34 years ago.
34 years ago.
34 years ago, yes.
I suck at math. So now I want to know how many years ago was this from 2019?
From 2019?
Yes.
From 2019, let me think here. It's 2019. Carry the 94. I'm just using my phone at this point.
Okay.
28 years.
28.
Yes.
Okay. When Harley died, okay, he died on August 1st, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
He was 76 years old. So how old would he have been here?
So you said, I said that was 28 years, right?
Yes, I believe you said.
Harley Race was only actually 48 years old.
He was 48 years old.
He was 2 years older than I am right now.
Yes, and he was considered like the grizzled old veteran.
And he looked like one.
That man was, you said 48?
48.
48 years old.
That's wild.
And he was a grown ass fucking man.
Yeah.
I'm 42 years old right now, and I don't feel like a grown ass man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so fucking insane.
Well, you got me into the math thing, and before we sign off, I just want to put this into perspective to make you actually, if you don't feel like a grown ass man, but just to remind you that you are old. So we are reviewing a show that we both watched and enjoyed somewhat or whatever when we were teens / kids in 1991, right?
Yes.
So in 1991, if there was such a thing as a podcast and we were reviewing a show from 34 years ago, then just so you know, this is like reviewing a show in 1991 from 1957. Just to throw
and
that
that's
out
what
there.
I'm saying, man. Like Harley showing up as like King Harley Race. You know, like seeing him at like WrestleMania 3, he felt old. So
but he wasn't.
He would only been 40.
It probably didn't help that he smoked like a pack and a half of cigarettes a day.
Well, I know, but that's what I was talking to a guy at work about this the other day. Like,
people looked so much older back then.
Well, even that, and just the way you carry yourself. Like, I was talking to a guy today, and he's the same, or not today, but the other day at work, and he's the same age as I am. It's like when we were like 16, we're like what a 30-year-old is now.
Yeah.
You know, like we're smoking fucking a pack and a half of cigarettes a day and drinking fucking beer, working. Like, I remember being like clocking in for work, and it was one of those ka-chunk.
Yeah, time card. Clock.
Yeah, time card. You give a kid a time card now, they'd be like, what? Mike
The fuck is this?
Throw them a TV guide. They don't know what the fuck to do.
I just pick what I want to stream, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what made me. I don't know why that popped into my
honestly,
head thinking about Harley taking that bump. But like, part of it was these two guys are in here, and neither one of them really did anything. And like Harley took the biggest bump, and he was only like 40-something fucking years old. And you're like, oh, the grizzled veteran.
Yeah, you and I watching it as kids probably thought Harley was fucking 60.
Yeah.
When he was managing Vader, honestly, when he's managing Vader, you know, in your mind, he's like
he's an old man.
Years old. Yeah, he's an old dude.
Of course, like your kids, I know they don't like wrestling anymore, but when Ric Flair showed up, Caitlin and Sean were like, "What's this old guy showing up, hanging out with Triple H? What's Triple H's grandpa doing here?" And we're like, "He's not that old."
Listen, kids, evolution is a mystery.
Rick's only like 47. It's 43. It's okay.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean. I know he was probably over than 43, but you get what I'm saying. It's like, yeah.
Well, that is Clash of the Champions 17.
It sucked. This was a bad show.
It was, like I said, other than the two highlights, because I enjoyed the tag title thing, and I really enjoyed Sting and Rude. But like you said, it was more of an angle than a match.
Yeah.
Other than that, kind of
they had to get the belt off him to move into Luger. Sting.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Clash of the Champions.
It was a step back.
Clash of the Champions 18. The next one we're going to do January 21st, 1992. So we're going to be heading into 92. I don't think by then, I don't think we have Bill Watts yet. I think Hurd might be gone, but I don't think we have Bill Watts yet.
I think you're probably right.
Because we have that short period of time where it's Kip Allen Fry, and we're gonna get Jesse Ventura coming in. Hello, Tony Schiavones. So we're that coming up.
We're about to move into like my second favorite era of that company. It's very fleeting because it's only 92 to 94, and when I say company, I mean NWA, WCW.
Right.
You know, it's like we're about to move into my second favorite period of it. Obviously, my first favorite is like the Horsemen, Dusty, JCP, all that, you know. But 92 to 94, WCW was my favorite company. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we're about to get there, but until we get there, we will sign off for tonight. We hope you've enjoyed, even though the show we reviewed wasn't spectacular. We hope you enjoyed our review of it, and continue to support us, the WNR Podcast Facebook group and the WNR Podcast YouTube page. And like Aron always says, the best way you can support us, it's not financially. Financially would be great, but if it's not financially, it's not by going to YouTube. It's by telling people that you know that are also old school wrestling fans, letting them know about the We Can't Wrestle podcast. That is the best way. Share it. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your mistress. You can tell your wife too. All about the We Can't Wrestle podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
With some friends.
We'll see you next week, everybody.